Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tank Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo. I am your host, Chromoid, and today we're going to be looking at yet another loser's bracket fight. This time between Team Not Nice by Char-Charodon and Tick Logo by shawnreed343. Char-Charodon's entry has been absolutely tearing through the losers bracket so far, and Tick Logo, although a recent introductee to the losers bracket, has done fairly well for itself too. So it's time to see which of these entries is going to continue their rampage and which one is finally going home. Let's get this fight underway. Oh, before I get my mouse under control there. And the Tick Logo once again begins its horrific mantra. It's not the worst thing I've heard. It's repetitive and annoying. It could be more tasteful, I guess. I don't know. It could be worse. It could definitely be worse. I usually give a lot of leeway in these tournaments, and this is definitely not the worst thing I've seen or heard. It's just going to be stuck in my head for about 2 or 3 hours after I finish this match. Now, Tick Logo, I've only just realized this, is a completely missile-based entry. They have no cannons, which is fine as long as they're laser guided or not guided at all. But they basically do nothing but fire missiles at their opponents. While Char-Charodon's entry, the Rude Dudes or Team Not Nice, are exclusively cram weapons. So it's gonna be interesting to see if a all missile entry can beat a all cram entry or vice versa. Of course, if shenanigans like this occur, um, may not need to worry about it at all because the rude dudes are pinning each other and getting each other stuck again. The high ground clearance of the ruder dudes, that's the two big land cruisers there, seems to sometimes get them in a lot of trouble. Oh, that's a lot of blocks torn out from underneath this land cruiser, but it seems to still be functioning and ricocheting shells right off the top of these ticks. The ticks and the Arthurs, the smaller white vehicles, are made of sloped heavy armor, and that seems to be especially effective against Char-Charodon's entry, which uses cram shells and cram that is mostly high explosive. So while occasionally you see a blast like that go off, first of all, high explosive does not do well against heavily armored opponents. And second of all, it tends to bounce. There's not a lot of penetration on these shells, and unless they hit at right angles like a couple of those did, they're just going to ricochet, which severely mitigates any amount of damage. Crams are already pretty inaccurate as a weapon system. As you can see, a lot of them miss right off the bat, but even the ones that hit have a high chance of ricocheting, and that's not helpful at all when you're trying to do damage to these massive land cruisers. They don't look that big, but that's actually quite big for as much heavy armor as they're packing. Now, the big telltale will be if Char-Charodon's entry can disable those missile turrets. That's not all the missiles that the entries carry. They don't have just missiles in the turrets. Both of the ticks, these blue ones, have missile launchers out the back that spit missiles along the ground behind them. And the missile, you see, there's a group of them there. The missiles then basically rocket in all directions and try to explode underneath the tanks. Um, at least that's what they're supposed to do. I think the terrain tends to make them jet up over their targets more often than they actually hit them. But, taking out the turrets won't be the end of the ticks, but it will hurt them. We're just going to see. We've got, oh no. I wasn't paying attention. Two of the Arthurs have already been disqualified? Oh, I missed that. Oh, I've been talking like a fool over here, completely missing the fact that another one of the Arthurs has been disqualified. What? I did not realize they were that badly hurt. Oh my goodness. I've been so focused on these ticks, I didn't realize that the poor white tanks were getting demolished. Oh man, that puts a lot of pressure on these two land cruisers. They're gonna have to do a lot of work. They've lost a full half of the firepower that this team has to offer. The Arthurs carry quite a few missiles. Well, they're not as durable as the ticks. I don't think the ticks have it in them to hold off an entire team of angry cram wielding boys, and that's exactly what Char-Charodon has. Oh man, I am so sorry, guys. I did not catch when that happened. Was not paying attention to the percentages. Again, I was too focused on these two blue ones. They do kind of take up the centerpiece of everything. They hog all the attention. Let's get out here and take a look. And you can see, I think every single vehicle on Team Not Nice is still functional. I don't see a single one that hasn't been firing. Maybe that one on the far right in the middle there might not be firing, but I mean, it's hard to tell. The only thing that could really upset this for Char-Charodon at this point is if his tanks start hitting each other more frequently than they hit the enemy. And with the spread between them, they're actually, for this team, they're keeping an unusual amount of distance between each other, which is very helpful because those crams now can fly over each other without actually risking as much friendly fire as they would before. The ticks are hanging in there. They seem to be doing well against this damage. One tick is down 77%. I'm guessing it's this one right here. But I mean, it's not taking the worst damage. I say that, but I'm not really sure how much damage it's taking. Let's look here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so half of the gantries are disabled. The other half are still working. And of course, the launchers out the back still seem to be working, but I'm not entirely sure if they have enough ammunition anymore. They may have run out. Man, enough of those explosions. Oh, that rapid fire volley is so satisfying. Enough of those explosive shells are going to eventually do the business for these ticks. I just don't think they've got enough to eliminate, man, the behemoths of Team Not Nice, as bulky and blocky as they are, as suicidal as they tend to be. They're just ramping off each other, running into each other without any regard for each other. It seems to work for them somehow. They do not take enough damage to care. Just missing at point blank. It's okay. It'll have another four for you in about 30 seconds. As it stands right now, well, that was a nice little shell trap. At 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, the Rude Dudes have a sizable lead, or the Team Not Nice has a sizable lead over Tick Logo. Now, Rude Dudes, or Team Not Nice, has taken some beatings, especially those Rooter Dudes. They appear to have taken the majority of the missiles. Unsurprising, given that this is a detection-based tournament, and they obviously have the largest signatures in the entire group. But even with all that having happened, I mean, look at the damage done to the rear of this thing. It's still firing. It's still moving. That's just structural and armor damage. It's not disabled. It hasn't lost the ability to do what it's about to do to this tick. It has lost some detection, it would seem. It does not seem to be firing accurately anymore. But I mean, it's still firing, which is more than some vehicles can say. Half of the tick logo are dead. I really think if they turn on that last Arthur, it's going to be disqualified. Oh no! I had to say something. The last Arthur was finally smashed. This leaves two ticks, and one is dangerously close to despawning. That'd be this one. This one has taken significant damage. It's down to 57%. It's taken way too many cram shells and has nobody backing it up anymore. All those ricochets, all those bounces, in the end, just got overwhelmed by the enormous amount of cram firepower being delivered by Team Not Nice. And it's starting to look like Char-Charodon is going to take yet another commanding victory. He got banished to. Yes, he might be dangerous, but not to Team Not Nice. Char-Charodon may have been banished to the losers bracket in his very first fight, but ever since then, he's been commanding the field, and there goes one tick, and I think we're going to see another one despawn before the time runs out. These tanks just do not stop pounding until everyone is absolutely dead, or you have disabled them. And only one entry so far has managed to disable Team Not Nice, and that's the entry that's currently rampaging through the winners bracket too. Nutter Chap's, I believe it was Nutter Chap that fought Team Not Nice. No, it wasn't. It was Arthur the Applique Man. His Between the Hammer and the Blank, which is of course also still rampaging through the winners brackets. In fact, I believe Between the Hammer and the Blank is going to be facing against Nutter Chap's tanks next, so we get to see which of those are truly the ones to be feared, and the Rude Dudes and the Rooter Dude just pummeling this tank, corralling it, cornering it. You see the ricochets from the shells. I think they probably have an angle fuse, so if they deflect at a certain angle, they'll detonate. Oh, but shots to the rear, that's not good. The rear is heavily armored, but it's flat. It's easy to get them to detonate on target. We're at a minute and 44 seconds remaining. This tick keeps proclaiming it might be dangerous, but I'm starting to think it might not be as dangerous as it thinks. All that heavy armor, doing it well, but we've already seen one tick despawn. They're not invincible, and that heavy armor will eventually go down under this much cram fire. Wow. Still a little bit of materials left for Team Tick logo, but it's being chewed away slowly. Oh, and there goes the turret. The turret is gone, and with it, almost all hope of ever firing another salvo of missiles. The missiles at the back have already been taken out by the repeated cram volleys. You can see the remnants of the gantries back there, but there's nothing left of this tick except a shell, and it's about to get flushed down the toilet by Char-Charodon as it reaches the 60.1% mark. At 55%, they are counted as destroyed and will despawn if they don't repair. And there's 55.6%. That's going to be it. The Tick logo team has finally been brought to its knees. It had a good run in the losers bracket for a short amount of time, but I don't think it was ready to face off against Char-Charodon's cram spam. Yeah, it's just gonna take one or two more volleys from these vehicles. Seems that one Rooter dude is pretty much the only one firing at this point. Everyone else has run out of steam, so to speak. So Tick Logo does at least get to claim that they exhausted all of Char-Charodon's ammunition, or nearly all of it, before they went down. But yeah, I think that's the only thing they get to claim. As the tank drops down to 55.2%, it does survive, but we've run out of time. And at 87.2 to 11.9%, this is easily another Team Not Nice victory. Congratulations, Char-Charodon. Your team will be advancing once more through the losers bracket. And Sean, unfortunately, your beautiful Tick logo team, with their nonsense audio blocks, have finally been eradicated. Thank you both for participating. Thank you all for watching. I've been Chromoid, and I will see you guys next time.